Good morning, friends. Today we study the Diffie-Hellman session key generation protocols. So the content we will study: limitation of the symmetric key cryptography, need of the session keys, discuss the Diffie-Hellman session key protocols, and the man-in-middle attack in the Diffie-Hellman protocols. So limitation of the symmetric key distributions. So in the symmetry key, we do not having a secure channel through which we can transmit the key from the sender to the receiver. This is the first limitation of in the symmetry key cryptography. In the second, in a group of n people, each person must have in the n minus 1 key, one for every other person in the group. If n people want to communicate with each other, there is need of n into n minus 1 divided by 2 different symmetry key, that is also known as the n square problems. So in the symmetry cryptography, when n is large, symmetry key distribution is not scalable. It required large computing power as the memory space. So these are the four limitations of the symmetry key cryptography. These limitations of symmetry key cryptography suggest solution of the generation of the session key. The mean of the session key is that we will use the key while required, while the key is not required, we will delete the key. In symmetry key cryptography, two-party is useful if it is used only once. It must be created for the one session and destroy when the session is over. So this is the definition of the session key. So here we discuss the Diffie-Hellman protocol for the generation of the session key. So we are assuming that we have the two parties, Alice is the sender and the Bob is the receiver. First they will decide the two prime number n and the g. They are very big size prime numbers. Then Alice will choose the two random number that are very big. One is that is known as the x is chosen by the Alice and the y is chosen by the Bob. And we as we know that n and g are no public number, that means that are known to the attacker also. The first thing is that in the Diffie-Hellman protocols, Alice will generate the R1 that should be equal to g the power of x mod n, and it will send this message to the Bob. Bob will again generate the R2. Bob having the number y, it know the g and the n, it will use to generate the R2, which will be equal to g the power of y mod n. So R2 will be sent to the Alice. So Alice will generate the key that will be equal to R2 that we receive from the Bob, R to the power x, x is known to the Alice mod n. And the similar, Bob will also generate the key. Bob receive the R1 from the Alice, it know the y, so it will generate the key k that will equal to R1 to power y mod n. So now we have to prove that the key that will generated by the Alice and the Bob, they are equal, and they also equal to the k that will also equal to the g the power of xy mod n. The symmetric key shared key in the Diffie-Hellman protocol, that is k equal to g the power of xy mod n. So example 1, we are taking one example and we are proving this session key, how the session key are generated in the Diffie-Hellman. Let us give an example to make the procedure clear. Our example use a small number, but note that in the real situation, as we know in the real situation we have the big numbers, so that attacker will do not find the value of x and the y from by knowing the g and the n. The number are very large, assume. So in our example we are assuming that g equal to 7, which is a prime number, and we are assuming the n equal to 23, this is also a prime numbers. So Alice will choose a one random number. So in our example we are assuming that the value of x is equal to 3. So Alice will calculate g the power of x mod n, means 7 to power 3, x is 3 mod 23, it will return to the 21. So R1, the value of R1 is the 21. It means Alice will send the 21 to the Bob. Similar, Bob will use the number y, which is again we are assuming that is a small number, and it will calculate the g the power of y, means g the value of g is 7, 7 to power 6 mod n having the 23. So it will find the value R2 which is equal to the 4. So Bob will send the R2 to the Alice. Then the Alice will calculate the key R1, Alice will calculate the key R2, R2 means 4, 4 to power x means 3, 4 to power 3 mod n means mod 23. It will produce the key that should be equal to the 18. So the key generated by the Alice at over end is 18. Similar, the Bob will calculate the key which will be equal to the R1, the value of R1 is 21 to power y, the value of the y is 6 mod 23. Again we are finding that Bob will generate the key which is also equal to the 18. So it means Alice and the Bob both will get the key by exchanging the value of R1 and the R2. So in the Diffie-Hellman protocol there is a one problem that there is a man in the middle attack is possible. How this attack is possible? As we know, n and g are the public numbers. So Alice will generate the R1 that will be equal to g the power of x mod n. Similar, we assume that we have a one attacker which will generate a one number z, and it will interrupt the R1 signal and it will generate the R2 message that will be equal to g the power of z mod n, and it will exchange that message to the both the party Alice as well as the Bob. So again Bob will assume that this message is generated by the Alice and the Alice will assume this message is generated by the Bob. Again Bob having the one number y, it will generate the g the power of y mod n. So we have the Bob having the key that having the r to the power y mod n, and the Eve having the both the key that is k1 that will be equal to the r to power z mod n, and k2 equal to r to the power 3 z mod n, and the Alice will generate the key that will be equal to r to the power x mod n. It means here the Alice having the one key and the Eve having the both the key. So it means if the message encrypted by the Alice by the key, that will be decrypted by the Eve, and it will again encrypt the message by the another key that will generated between the Eve and the Bob, and it will modify the message and it will send the message to the Bob. So this way there is a man in the middle attack is possible in the Diffie-Hellman protocols. So for this book, for this lecture, we are following the book TCP/IP protocol sold by the Frozen. Thank you.